Ladies and gentlemen, Hex community of all ages, hey, Jake Freedom here, coming to you live from YouTube for this week's Hex Update Saturday for May 9th, 2015. And though we didn't have a whole heck of a lot revealed this week, we did have some exciting news, and we'll get to that in a moment here. First, let's go ahead and start out with the most recent announcement of another large stress test tournament. It's going to be taking place on May 16th. Some of you may participate, some of you may not, but it looks like HEX is gearing up again for another stress test, going to be on their play servers. And reading through this article here, they talked about they did some changes to the tournament back end, some other tweaks here and there. What exactly they've done, we don't know. I mean, they'll just, they won't tell us all that, but so it says here we're going to run another large-scale tournament on the player test server on May 16th. Our engineers have made changes to the tournament system and client, therefore they need to run another large stress test. We need your support, testing checklist, and account registered before May 13th. You need to download the updated client, which is probably going to be the test client. The test server and tournament registration will be open for 4 hours before the tournament. Please join the server at least 1 hour before the tournament starts. There's more details to come soon, and they state that it is free, so I'm guessing we'll probably get some type of reward for participating in the actual stress test. I think in the past we have, one way or the other, got something. So if you have the time and you can do it, go ahead and partake in that stress test. See, May 16th, that's going to be next Saturday. That would be next Saturday, right? Yeah. So it's 11 a.m. Pacific time. That would probably, what's that going to be, 10, 12 a.m., 12? I'm not sure exactly what time that would be here. I'll have to figure that out, but may or may not do it. We'll see. We'll see what's going on. The other exciting news that we have is the Hex Update Cycles. This one here is pretty cool. It shows off 3 new cards from Armies of Myth, and it starts out with Greeting Hexers. This week, let's talk about a few more wrinkles in the Armies of Myth set. You saw 3 new keywords that build on the digital TCG space that Hex continues to define. Now let's take a look at some of the cycles you'll see coming in the next set. So they call this here Tricycle. So we have a little bit of new and a little bit of familiar here, and they say remember Allegiance from last week. Play in a very similar space. So they're showing off here 2 cards. One's called Tribal Warfare, which is a quick action, Ruby quick action, 5 casting cost, 1 threshold. And the other one is a Blood basic action, 5 cost, 1 threshold. And the Tribal Warfare reads, target troop you control and all troops you control that share a trait with it gets exhaust this, and this deals damage equal to its attack to another target troop this turn, which is pretty cool. So if you have, let's just say, I don't know, what are some troops out there that share some traits? Let's just take well, some of the humans, they all share traits one way or the other. What you can do is you can target a troop, and then all troops that you control that share a trait with that particular human, they all get the ability to exhaust them, and they deal their damage, their attack to another target troop. So that's pretty cool. They don't have to target the same card. Obviously, they can target individual cards themselves. So with humans, I can see that being a pretty good card. Maybe that's probably good enough for constructed there. I don't know. It's a 5 cost. It is a quick action, and it's only a rare. So I think that might be a good enough card for constructed. Definitely, probably a sealed card, but I wouldn't put it past not see that in constructed there at all. Mind Rake is a basic action for 5, and you choose target troop you control. Each opposing champion discards a card for each troop you control that shares a trait with it. So they give an example down here. It says these actions don't ask that you have a specific race or type, so these cards work with any deck you build. It checks the targeted troop for all of its traits, and they say, did you know that Vampire King is undead? Is an undead, vampire, and a king? Well, yeah, you probably knew that, but there's still 3 types there. Now, if a troop shares one or more than one trait with that targeted troop, the action only counts that troop once. For example, if you play Mind Rake and you have Reese the Crustcrawler and you have a Cavern Commando on the board, your opponent discards 2 cards. If you add a Brood Creeper and a Gearsmith to the board, still targeting Reese, your opponent will then have to discard 4 cards. So it's a pretty cool action there. As far as getting rid of discards, maybe this will, I don't know, what, yeah, maybe, I don't know. It's just, we'll have to see how well it goes. I mean, I don't know, you know, as far as the state of standard, you know, I didn't really pay attention a whole heck of a lot to how many cards actually share a trait, or how many of the cards are sharing traits with each other. But I can definitely see building something around these 2 cards here. Again, this is only, what, the 5th cards that we've seen so far out of Armies of Myth, so there's going to be a whole heck of a lot more coming, I'm sure. So it's really too early to say what you can do with this. Right now, obviously there's potential for it. They obviously give us an example here, but you know, I'm sure there's going to be more, and time will only tell. So it says each shard has one of these actions. Some shard, like Wild with its shin hair, will find easy company to get maximum effect out of it. All shards, however, will surprise you with how they use this cycle of actions with a bit of cleverness and ingenuity. So we have another new card that's showing off here, and it's called Ozawa's Dance. And it says that the Kyodal sure do like to dance. You had Dream Dance, you had Spirit Dance, now you'll have Ozawa's Dance. And this is a very new card, because it's an action card which is socketable, which is really cool. It's socketable major, and it says troops in your deck get all socketed powers of this. So you can kind of already get the feeling that, you know, or how well this card could actually be. Now, being 6 cost basic action, I don't think that matters. It says troops in your deck, so they can't be in your hand, they can't be in play yet. So, you know, that's kind of a bummer that it's at 6 cost, but you got to remember though that it's a socketable major, so you can do some pretty cool stuff with the major gems there. So this is actually a pretty powerful card. You know, even at 6 casting costs, it's only 1 threshold, so you could splash this. You know, very splashable. You know, what you give it here, you know, it's entirely up to you, obviously. But, you know, the possibilities are really endless there, because, you know, this is a white card here, and whatever you're playing, if you're playing, you know, 2, 3, 4 colors, you know, all of those troops will get the socketed power of this. This is a really cool card, I think. Just, you know, just touching on it now, I mean, a lot of possibilities out there, and who knows, this might be, maybe this card will come out and be, you know, something in the new standard coming up. Who knows? You know, going through some of the decks that were in standard, they're pretty similar. All of them are very, very similar. And there's only like 2 decks, maybe 3 if you want to count the Jankbot deck. Obviously there's some stragglers out there, but again, if you saw that State of Standard video I did, you know, it's kind of some interesting numbers there. I didn't go through the specific decks, I just went through all the cards that were played in the undefeated deck list from January and March there. And like I said, you know, the decks are very similar across the board. You know, like I said, there's basically 2 decks being played, and then there's, you know, the Jankbot decks, and then there's a couple of stragglers out there, but the majority of them are the Ruby Sapphire decks, and then you know, decks that play Soul Marble, Gore Feast. So anyway, so maybe we need something to shake up standard. I think so anyway. So then it goes on to say, Armies of Myth is the first time you'll see sockets on action cards. With Ozawa's Dance, you can take your favorite gems, they say gems, and buff up all your troops in your deck. When this deals damage to an opposing champion, draw a card on your entire remaining force. How could you lose? Well, you could, but yeah, I mean, the possibilities are endless there. So the next card here we have in the upcoming set, 4 new races get the spotlight, but your favorites from Shards of Fate and Shattered Destiny get new allies as well. And this one here is a Cerulean High Counselor. He's a 1 cost, 1 threshold, 01 troop human mage, and his card text is, you can exhaust him, put a troop with cost equal to or less than this troop's cost from your hand into play, put this into your hand, this gets cost +1. So this, you know, it's be in your hand. You know, I don't know about this one. This one might be too slow for anything other than maybe draft and sealed. You know, I don't know. It's tough to say. You granted you get a troop out there free. So let's just say we use this one time, we get to put a 1 casting cost or 1 cost troop out there, and the only way you can actually get this guy's casting cost to bump up is actually use him. So do you cast him for 1, then you exhaust him, he gets put back in your hand, then you pull out another 1, now he's a 2. So I mean, it'd be interesting to see how this card actually works. And I'm guessing he's not unique, so you can have 4 of them. I'm guessing it's only going to affect that 1 card. It's not going to be in all zones, or else it would probably say all zones there. So we'll see how that card actually comes out, how it comes out to actually work. It says humans are all about helping each other and coming together. With Cerulean High Counselor, the Sapphire Mage fits into the plan perfectly, while also playing some crazy mind games with the opponent. Since you can use this quick ability on your opponent's turn, you'll be able to surprise him or her with readied blockers lightning fast. Plus, if you're playing humans, your troops will likely play nice and with inspire effects, both receiving them and giving them later on. So yeah, that's one thing to note. It is actually it is a quick action to do that. So you can pull something out. Maybe it's tough to say. We'll see what happens there with that card. But I do like all the new cards here so far. It's just something different. Mind Break, I'm just not sold on yet, but all the other ones I like. Cerulean High Counselor. Yeah, maybe we can do something with that one. We'll see what else we get in the set as more cards actually released there. We're gonna have to start keeping track of the actual cards that get released just to see what they are. So it shouldn't be too hard. I'll start keeping a list of cards that they showcase, and we'll see if they actually showcase the entire set by the time they release it, or just a few of them. We'll see. We'll go from there. So again, they talk about the stress test tournament, and then they got here a section till it's gone, and it says the 6 alternate art commons in the HEX store have been a big hit with players, I guess, and they're going to remove those and make room for others. So if you don't have them yet, you need to hurry up and get your set of 4 as soon as possible. We'll give you at least a week's notice before they're gone, so start making that gold and grab these collectible alternate art commons right away. So that's a good thing to know. I still don't have any of them. Personally, I think 25,000 gold for them is expensive when you can go in the auction house and buy it for 3 platinum. A lot less work. So that's, it's my opinion anyway. At least I've seen them for 3 platinum, so maybe they're more than that. I don't know. But 25,000 gold, I don't know if getting gold through the arena. I don't know if you get gold through draft anymore, do you? I don't remember. I haven't played a draft in a long time. So if you don't, I mean, that's a big problem. Let's see. Let's just take a look and see if we do. Go into tournaments. I don't know if you do or not. I don't think you do anymore. I think they pulled it out when the arena came out, to be honest with you. Yeah, just packs. So get 25,000 gold from the arena. Is it easy? I have not received that much gold from the arenas, so that's just me though. Again, they talk about 5 shards presented by Colin, and they have the Clan Black Blade Popper event. I think I called it paper. I like to say, paper, popper, it's all the same thing, right? And then they have the Rock League thing. Again, that started in May. If you guys are into the Rock League, it's pretty cool. Easy way to get into some competitive play for relatively cheap, since it is a budget league, and if you're not familiar with it, you basically build your deck out of commons, and you can have up to 4 uncommon cards, and that's it. So it's a pretty good way to play competitively for really cheap. And then HEX was in a couple articles this last week. I actually read one of them. I think it was the MMORPG. I read that one there, and they said some nice things about HEX, and they said some things that could use some work. But again, they stated that it was only in a first half of its beta or whatever. So yeah, that is what's in the news this week. Pretty exciting stuff, I would have to say. So let's go ahead and get to the pack opening for this week. And again, like always, last week we did the Primal Pack. I'll get those cards mailed out as soon as the video is done. Congratulations in advance to all the winners that will receive one. Let's see, do we have any packs? We should, I think. We have one. Good deal. Awesome. Crack this one open, see what we get. We haven't opened up on a legendary in a long time. Maybe we'll get one. And no, of course not. So we have, I think they need to speed up that animation. Is that just the time that the server is taking to generate the cards, or is it just the animation's that slow? I don't know. Alright, so let's start with our commons. We have Cunning Skullcaster, Sly Huntress, Prophet of Ren, Junie Mirthkin, I still can't pronounce that name, Mesmeric Hypnoscientist, Immortal Tears, Overtime Bot, Thorn Tongue Snapdragon, Manacle Entrepreneur, Surprise Runt Gang, and Dementia Daisies. That rounds out the commons. And for our uncommons, we have Augmentation Bot, Scrap Tech Brawler, one of the heavily played cards in Standard right now, and we have Hawkwind. And for our rare, we get Teapot of Prosperity, 1 casting cost artifact, and for 1 cost you can exhaust this, and 5 random cards in your deck with cost 1 or greater get cost -1. So I did have this card in one of the cheap artifact decks. I think I debuted or showed on HEX Deckonomics. It's okay, it's not the greatest card in the world, but no big deal. And just a common chest, so we'll go and stash that away. Alright, so other than that, I think that's all the news we have this week. So far, anyway. So, again, let me know your top 5 picks from this week's pack in the comments down below. If you liked the video, give me a thumbs up. And if you want to see more of these videos, be sure to click subscribe down below, and we'll have another video for you soon.